Pricing. Right, I think we're live. Tom's just talking to himself. Guys, if you are joining, welcome to the Fast Track FBA weekly YouTube live. I'm just going to be joining you guys to answer your questions, but also I'll give you a bit of an update on my business and where we are at. So if you are here, do drop out like a hi down below, drop a comment, let me know that you're here. I'm actually, before I jump in, I am actually just going to check and see, is Tom actually live on the interweb, or is it just him talking to himself? So let's kind of find out. 2 seconds. I'm just going to go check. So if you're here, do say hi. Obviously, that'd be greatly appreciated. Am I here alive? I don't know if I am actually live. If it says I'm live, let's have a quick look. Yeah, Tom is live. Woohoo! Tom's live. Cool. So drop me a thing there, and I'll just check on YouTube as well. So let me know. So obviously it's Q4, and Q4 is really going, like absolutely, like wow, like absolutely loving it. And the reason why I say I'm absolutely loving it is because we've had some like really good results. 2 VAs generated $5,000 in gross profit last week alone, which is absolutely incredible. So super happy. Let me just, so guys, got a couple of people coming in already. So this is actually brilliant. So Yizchaua, I think it is. Sorry if I'm really bad with names. Facebook user says hi. Hi, Facebook user. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. Honestly, I'm here to help you. I'm just going to quickly go through what I'm doing this week. And while I'm doing that, drop your comments down below. So should we say in the business, like for me, okay, so let's do this. So this week, what are the 3 things we're focusing on? Well, number 1 is going to be repricing. It's Q4, and pretty much if you haven't already bought the stock and got it shipped in already, it's too late for Christmas. So US definitely, UK is pretty much like today. Today's the very last day you can ship. So what should you really be focusing on right now? Repricing. This is if you're doing FBM. If you're doing, FBA. If you're doing FBM, you can still keep selling or buying and selling, but FBA, we're just repricing. Specifically, we are looking at those products that we want to get shifted because they are Christmas stock before Christmas, so obviously repricing. And then number 2, anything that we want to get sold now because maybe it's like old stock or it's like we've got too much of it, we're going to try and get that shifted now. Now is a great time to shift it. Really good. So number 1, repricing is what you should be doing. Number 2, we are looking at our reordering. We've been doing this for a while, but specifically, we've created a new reordering process, which I will share within the Seller Academy. It's a lot more efficient, a lot more effective, but the one thing we're doing is my team are recording Loom videos of themselves doing the process, talking through the problems they're having, and I'm watching those Loom videos back, and I'm looking at how can we make it even better, how can we make it more efficient and faster, keeping the products in stock that we want, making sure we're ordering the right amounts, and speeding up the time it takes to do it. So very important. And again, I'll share that within the Seller Academy. So reordering is the second thing. And then the third thing is really focusing on, should we say, while I talk about repricing, I'm also talking about like repricing to hold stock to like, should we hold stock for longer? Like if we look at right now, the stock levels are quite low, it's selling, and we're like, we could probably make more money if we just hold for a little bit, because right now, this is another area we're looking at. So it's kind of in conjunction with point 1, which is repricing, but point 2 is if you are finding a product item is selling really now and you're quickly, and you're looking at the amount of stock on the listing and it's probably going to sell out before Christmas, you might want to hold your price to see if you can go a bit higher. You can make a lot of money. So repricing to get products selling, number 1, reordering, number 2, but finally number 3 is actually holding prices high, because now is the time that you're going to make money. Just remember, Amazon does have fair market pricing policy, and they do watch suppliers off Amazon. So you might go buy box suppress, but we can't guarantee that. But keeping an eye on those stock items is going to be so key. So there's the 3 things we're doing this week. Right, let's jump into questions. So a couple of people joined in. Thank you so much. Geely, hey Tom. Hey, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you. By the way, if you want to know, after this call, I literally do some more administration. I then go for a run, and then I'm going to the airport, and I have 4 flights to catch. 3 of them are over 8 hours long, and I'm going to end up in an island in Thailand in 2 days' time. So definitely got a lot of traveling to happen, but looking forward to that. But I need to get some exercise in because I'm just going to be getting fat for the next 2 days. So I hope that makes sense. So hello, Thomas. Have you got another method other than storefront stalking to find deals in the UK? I can't find anything here. I just do the USA at the moment. Okay. Let's talk about sourcing. Like, storefront stalking should not be used as a general method for finding products. Because you're just finding products that other people have and the prices are going to crash. Your ROI will go down. What you're really looking for is to find certain categories. I call it niching down. Find a category that you like. Say, for example, in the US, you like sneakers, and then you identify that maybe like Nike is a brand that you like, and then you understand the suppliers for Nike, and you understand how to A, find coupon codes that works, and B, you get bulk orders through. That's the really key metric. Now, the only reason why you might want to do storefront stalking is because you identify that there is a certain seller who is on all the listings that you are, but they have some other products that you don't know about. So you might find some other Nike suppliers where you're like, damn, I need to learn how to get through them. Or like, wow, this guy's buying it from that supplier. I didn't think you could do it. There must be a way. That's when storefront stalking really works. But if you use storefront stalking just generically, i.e. as a way to source products, then your problem comes is that you are just buying products that everyone else is buying, and probably storefront stalking as well. So even if they are profitable right now, most of the time they just only crash, and we've seen it in our own numbers. So generally speaking, we don't really do storefront stalking. We will do it to look at like competitors who we identify as like, they're doing the same as us in the same niche. Cool. Let's go find out what they're seeing and what can we learn from them as well. So that's what we do. But specifically, leads lists are a good one. Open up new suppliers. Open up, if you get like cat food, fish flavor, you want to do cat food, beef flavor, for example, that can help out. But when you talk about storefront stalking, I really wouldn't look at that. I'd just go to my YouTube channel, look at the top 100 supplier list. It's one of the, I think I released it about 2 months ago, and I talk about how you do that niching down process. You want to be focusing on that because at the end of the day, you will find less deals by doing that, but those deals will make you more money. And that's the point. We're here to make money, not find lots of deals and then lose the money. I hope that makes sense. So that's the thing there. Which of the repricing tools do you use and which is the most effective? Well, obviously the one that I use is probably the most effective. So if you want to know, we use Seller Snap. And if you want to get 30% off, it's 10% off for the first 3 months. fasttrackfba.com/tools. You'll see all the tools we recommend. So we use Seller Snap. It's an AI repricer. We've seen it increase the buy box. I really like that. It works really well. It has some really good views as well that I really like. So we use Seller Snap as an AI repricer. Previously, we've used like Be Cool and STK. We like them as well. But right now, because of the volume that we do, Seller Snap's really good. I like the way it works. And we found that we get an increase in our ROI. And if you're doing anything over like 10,000 per month, then I think you should probably consider Seller Snap and at least trial it. And you can get a free trial on fasttrackfba.com/tools, TOOLS. And that will help you there. So that's the one that you use. Jelly, what do you use? Let me know down below. Shabana, I think it is. Hi. Hey, how you getting on? Ashraf, I'm selling in the UK market as a non-VAT registered seller. Cool. Due to this, I'm facing selling restrictions due to sales threshold. Can you please brief me on what the impact of profit is of VAT registration? So if you are selling in the UK and you're about to go VAT registered, generally speaking, you're like the kind of like what people say is you're going to lose about 8% of net profits. So what does this mean? If you are selling right now and you do £10,000 in sales and you're making, let's call it £1,000, £2,000 in profits, you're going to lose about 8% of that, should we say. So it's not huge, but it does have an impact and it makes it harder. Number two, you have to start doing VAT returns, which means you now need to get VAT invoices. You need to file your company accounts. Your accountants will generally charge you more because of increased administration, and getting invoices is a bit of a pain. So generally, you're going to see a decrease in your profitability and you're going to see an increase in your administration. Not ideal, but unfortunately, selling below the VAT threshold in the UK is what's considered easy mode, and over the VAT threshold is considered, normal mode. Now, the one thing you do understand is when you go VAT registered, you can A, reclaim the VAT paid on the stock you are currently holding at the point of VAT registration. That's okay. And then B, you are able to reclaim the VAT paid on any services that you have used for the business over for the 6 months prior to VAT registration. HMRC outlined this. That's my understanding of it, so do check it. But the idea is this is just going to help you reclaim a lot of money. Most of the time when you do your VAT registration for the first VAT registration, it's going to be that reclaim, you're going to get money back rather than paying it, and then after that you then pay VAT. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. So hope that makes sense. Jay Lee, do you need to make settings stand out to make you win the buy box? No, just like have stock in. So look, put it this way. Reprices are useful. A couple of things you could. Okay, Seller Snap. Let's specifically talk about Seller Snap because you answered that question. winning the buy box, what do you need to know? Number one, professional selling account, period. If you don't have professional selling account, you'll never get the buy box. Number two, generally speaking, you need FBA over FBM, not always, but if you are not sure, if you understand how the buy box works, you'll know the answer to this. But most of the time, FBA is going to win you the buy box. Number three, your stock has to be available in FBA, not kind of like moving around the warehouses. And you can tell that by the delivery date. So if your delivery date is the same as everyone else's, you should be on the buy box. Number three, there are some metrics of consideration, like that represent maybe like 5%. And we don't really know, I'm just guessing here, but the majority of it is FBA and professional selling account. And then finally, then price. Price is the big one. So the 5% is made up of like your selling history, your review count, for example. But as long as you are competitive on price, delivery date, and you are prime selling, you will win the buy box. Now, this doesn't always happen because Amazon's always testing the algorithm. And the one thing we like with Seller Snap is that you can actually, as a setting within the repricer, you can set it to win buy box a percentage of time. So sometimes we use this whereby we are not winning the buy box enough, even though we are competitive on all the other metrics. So we can literally just flick it over to that rule, and that works really well. So that's really, really helpful. So long story short is you don't need to do anything in the settings, but if you want to, you could do what's known as win buy box, and we like that with Seller Snap. Yes, Chu. I hope that's. I'm really bad with names, so I can only apologize. How long do you hold on to the product before you liquidate, even if you get no profit? Generally, 90 days. We'll start getting aggressive in 60. 90 days we're like super aggressive, like zero profit, and then 180 with negative profit quite considerably. So that's the answer there. Is the island Phuket? No. Been to Phuket. I lived there for a month. We're going to Koh Samui, if that makes sense. So if anyone wants to know, I'm going to Thailand, Koh Samui. In 2 days' time, I will land there. Have you recovered sourcing best methods? Have I recorded? Yeah, you can see my channel, sourcing best methods. I've recorded them as well, so you can see it. Facebook user, amazing, thank you. Can you recommend a prep center in a tax-free state for me to buy stock in the USA and have them prep and send it to FBA? I can, but like there's a couple of ones like Epic Prep you can choose. I know Dan 1000 ASINs, he's in a tax-free state. Interviewed him, really, really good guy. Just have a look at Fast Track FBA. Go to the Facebook Fast Track FBA website, go up to the top right, and you go resources and then blogs, and there will be a link to prep centers. And so you'll see our list of prep centers that we recommend for the UK and USA. And again, like the tax-free state ones will be in there. So check that out. That will help you out as well. So yeah, that will help. Geely, storefront stalking could be done, obviously, if the listing does not involve so many sellers, maximum 10 sellers. Can be, but let me give you an example. What if the listing itself is selling 10 units per month and there are 9 sellers on the listing? Well, you're only going to get 1 sale each per month, which is like not even worth it. What if the listing's selling 5 units per month? You're not going to get half a sale per month each. That's like 1 sale every 2 months. Might not be worth it. Like, yeah, you're right. There will always be exceptions, but generally speaking, storefront stalking is not a great way to go because just the prices crash. I hope that makes sense, but I do understand where you're coming from. Are you using any specific repricing strategy or the presets on Seller Snap? We do tweak the repricing strategies for what works for us, and we share that within the Seller Academy. That's my 7-figure mastermind, and you can join that if you look at fasttrackfba.com. But I won't share exactly what they are publicly. But I appreciate there are other people who might be competing against me, and sharing that isn't like what I would do. But we do share them, we do tweak them, and we're always updating them based on what's going on. Like we can see, like this isn't working. We're always looking for anomalies, because the underlying Amazon algorithm is always changing. So we are tweaking them, but the default ones are pretty good. Like I think they do a really good job, but we do tweak them, and we share that within the Seller Academy. So Jay Lee says, I use the SDK repricer, but I make a loss sometimes. Completely understand. By the way, like what you're implying by this question is that the SDK repricer is the one causing you to make a loss. Now, if that's true, then obviously speak to Norm and SDK and have that conversation. But I'm probably suspecting it's more likely that the products that you bought later had maybe too much competition, and therefore the product went loss making. So for you, I would say actually maybe analyze why you made a loss. Now, if you want a top tip for me and what I do within my business, specifically around purchasing, is we record a video of all of the purchases we make. And whenever we have good deals or bad loss-making deals, we'll go back and watch that video, and we will ask ourselves, what have we learned from that that video or that experience, that purchase, and hence loss, and what can we do to improve the purchasing going forward. So we use that process to really help and refine our business, and it really helps us out. So we are always learning. Tom needs to cough. Right, coffee. My God, I'm not doing it. Christian. Hey, Christian. Hey, Christian. Hi, Tom. Do I need to have the VA Zoom call? Thanks. I'm guessing you're talking about if you hire a VA, do I need to have a call with them? Let me put it this way. If there is one thing I can recommend that every person should do if you hire a VA, it's have the week or daily call, like, period. Like, it's the biggest, like, those, okay, let me put it this way. We've hired over 800 virtual assistants for 400 clients. And if you were to look at what's the one key factor in those who are successful and those who are not, and obviously there are exceptions, but the majority of those who are successful are the ones who have the call. And the ones who do not have the call, they are unsuccessful with their VAs. So if there's one thing I can strongly recommend that you do with your VAs, is that daily call every single week. I cannot stress that enough. I think that is so, so important. So do you need to have the call? No, you don't. But do I strongly recommend it in the strongest possible terms? Yes, of course. If you need to skip one, absolutely fine. But I would strongly recommend do it all the time. It's going to really, really help you out. So hope that helps and answers your question. Again, I think you've ordered through the VA Academy, so speak to my team. My team will help you out and talk you through what that looks like and share a video with you what you should be doing. Jaylee, what is the UK sales threshold for non-VAT registered sellers? My understanding is it's 85,000. So I'll give you a little trick. If you haven't done this already, you can't do it, but if you've done it by accident, which most people do, it will help out. If you are worried about VAT registration in the UK and you're a UK resident or national, most people who start selling on Amazon do so in their own name. And when you do it in your own name, Amazon actually allow you to transfer your Amazon selling account from your own personal name over to a company, a limited company. So you can actually move the account from your personal name into a company name. Now, Amazon treats it as the same, but in regards to taxation and HMRC, they treat them as two separate entities. You are not your business, your business is not you. And so therefore your tax, your VAT threshold, 85,000 per year, gets to reset. So you get 185 on you and 185 on the business. So that's a really good little trick. Can't guarantee it will always work, but right now that's something that has happened and has been happening for many years, and it's not really a problem. Speak to your accountants, they'll advise you, but it's a really good little trick. So you can definitely do that. Hello, should we hire a VA for product sourcing private label USA? I don't know. I don't do private labels, so I can't really answer that question. I think that's really up to you. I would really recommend speaking to people who do private labels. I just can't really answer that, sorry. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. Honestly, I am here to help. So Ravi, we got Hanny Roy. Hey, Hanny Roy. Ravi says here, hey, Ravi. 1 second. Tom needs coffee. Guys, if you've got questions, do drop them down below. I'm here to help. I will just also say this before I jump onto the coffee and then Ravi's question. I'm going to be taking a break after this call for 4 weeks. So if you've got any questions, please ask me. Why am I taking a break? Because I'm going to Thailand. I want to go and enjoy. And also right now in Thailand, it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I really don't want to be doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning in Thailand. I want to be like enjoying the beach. So I hope you understand. So I will be back in January, but do get your questions in right now and I'll help you out. So coffee and then Ravi's question. Ravi says, this is my first Q4. Is there a mad buying rush in the final 2 weeks prior to Xmas? No. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I'll come back to that. Do prices go up due to increased demand? I was thinking about increasing prices. Okay, really, really great question. So I need to be very careful. When you say buying, what I understand that as is you are buying products to resell on Amazon. So because that's the language that we use. So generally speaking, if you have not bought the product already right now and you are shipping it today, you via UPS or UPSS, whatever, to get into Amazon, it's too late. Like generally, even now in the US, it's too late. In the UK, you can probably do it today. You'll be fine. So, and that's to get it sold before like the 23rd, if that makes sense, to get it delivered on the 24th and for etc. So generally speaking, anything which is going to sell before the 25th you've already got to ship in already by now, especially in the US. This is for FBA. Now, number two, when you talk about sales, this is customers buying your products that you are selling on Amazon. So when you write that, the way that I would understand it would be, is there a mad selling rush in the final 2 weeks prior to estimate? That's what I would understand it as. So yeah, and I can see, no, I mean selling to customers. Yeah, absolutely fine. I see that one. So the question is yes, of course there is. Like, my God, how many men, and maybe women as well, like leave it all to the last minute? Like we all do. We're really bad. So it definitely does. Now, you're asking the question, you think about increasing prices. So let's talk tactics. So if we tactically talk about what can you do right now to maximize profitability during Q4, what would the answer be? Well, for me, the answer would be, one, I would load up an ASIN, and two, I would then look at the listing sales per month. So say, for example, it's selling 1,000 units per month. And I would then also look at the sales rank chart, and I'd be like, is the sales rank chart pretty consistent? Maybe I would go back to last year. Has it come down? Because you can see it increases in sales rank since the beginning. As it gets closer towards Christmas, the sales increase. Or maybe even it's just consistent, not a problem. So I'm just going to get a feel. It's 1,000 right now. Is it going to get faster, or is it going to stay the same, or is it going to slow down? So generally things stay about the same. So say, for example, it's 1,000 sales per month. Then what would I do? I would look at the total FBA stock on the listing. Now, if that FBA stock is less than, should we say, the time it takes between now and Christmas, and if that's 2 weeks, that'll be about 500 units of stock. So right now, between now and the next 2 weeks, this product's going to sell 500 units of stock, because it's 1,000 units per month divided by 4 weeks. That's 500 per 2 weeks. And if I'm looking right now, total FBA stock is like maybe 200. I'm like, this thing's going to sell out. So I'm like, right, hold your price high. Put your price up, set your min higher, and what you're going to be looking at is saying, this is a product that could be going higher. I would also make a note of the ASIN, and they'll be checking at least daily. Like, literally click on it, load it up, what's going on the listing. Cool, click up, load it on the listing. Last thing you want to do is like, you hold it high, someone comes in with 1,000 units of stock, and then you lose out. So keep checking it daily, but it's a really good opportunity. The other one I'd probably look at as well, tactically, if you have those stock units which are potentially going to make you more profit during Q4, is not only put the price higher, but put them onto a repricer rule whereby the price is going to keep increasing. And maybe you might go like 1p per 15 minutes if you are the buy box winner, because if everyone else is sold out, you want to keep increasing that price. That's a really good metric. So, SDK will do that, Seller Snap will do that. Just by increasing that price, you'll make more money. So I hope that makes sense. And that's kind of like tactically what I do. But I would just strongly recommend what you should be doing is looking at those ASINs every single day. Like, I would literally have a big Google sheet, click, check, yeah, I can see that one. And again, I'd be doing that analysis all the time. Listing sales, total stock on the listing, where am I? Do I think I'm going to sell? No, cool, bring the repricer down. Listing sales, stock on the listing, oh, this one's going to sell out, cool, I'll put my price a bit higher, cool. Every day I'm just keep doing that process. That's how you're going to like literally maximize money. So important. So I hope that makes sense. Ravi, let me know if that helps down below. Facebook user, 1 second. What would be the least amount of units per month an item would have if it was worth buying the stock? Great question. When we were selling in the UK, we were buying many products which were probably selling 2, maybe 3 units per month. They were probably selling for like 150, 200 pounds, and we were making over 100% ROI. I'm making like 50, 70 pounds profit per item. So for me, I'd be okay with that. And by the way, there's a lot of these products, by the way. So I was okay with that. And if you can manage that as going really wide, but very shallow and very slow sales, but you have a massive width, that can work really well. That's a really good strategy for some people who are like, need to get higher ROIs. Like, they can absolutely work. So, I'd even go down to 1-2 sales per month if the profit was there. And again, the kind of key metric I'd be looking at is not the like units per month, it's the profit per month that I would generate. So one of the key metrics we look at in the USA, if you want to know, is profit per month. And if my purchasing manager shows me deals whereby they're not going to make more than $150 per month, then I'm kind of like, why are we bothering? Like, we can buy them and sell them. But so it might be like, wow, it's selling 100 units per month, but you're going to make 50 cents, and that's $50. Like, it's just a lot of work for not really much money. So why are we doing it? So again, we're always trying to look at increasing that profit per unit per month. That's one of the key indicators we look at. And if you have one product selling 1 unit per month and you're making $400 profit, love it, do it. So I hope that helps answers your question. Hanoi Roy, is it possible to sell in the UK marketplace from a different country? I have to go to Pakistan due to some family commitments, but we'll be back within a year. I have purchasing Vienna Press Center. By the way, I live in Mexico and we sell in the US and my team are in the Philippines. So I think your question's a bit like, can I work remotely rather than can I ship from Pakistan, if that makes sense? Like if you have a prep center, you can just buy online from using a VPN from the UK, VPN into the UK, buy from like Tesco, ship to your prep center and sell on Amazon UK. Yeah, no problem at all. I've been doing this for like 7 years, I think. So absolutely fine. Yeah, there's no problem with that at all. But you're kind of like, is it possible to sell from a different country? Well, you're not actually selling from, you're just working from, but your company is based in the UK and you're buying from the UK. So yeah, absolutely fine. I'm based in the UK, but I've gone back to my country for a year. Yeah, fine. We do this in the USA. So I hope that makes sense. Like in the USA, I live in Mexico. My team lives in the Philippines. I'm going to be in Thailand, so it's the same kind of question. But the answer is there's no problem at all. My top tip for you: the big problem you get is about checkouts, purchasing checkouts, and so the net result is that you want to be using like a VPN that just makes it look like you are in the UK. So for checkouts, it works really well. UK is okay, but the USA has really big problems with regards to cancellations orders when you're remote. So it's not the end of the world, but it does help. So Ravi says, thanks. Facebook user, do you have a list of OA websites I can purchase on America for stock? I also do VPNs for stocks in the USA. So I'll see if, do me a favor, if you just go to fasttrackfba.com and you go to resources and blog, you can literally go to top 100 supplier websites for the USA and you can download a list. So you can get my top 100 supplier list absolutely fine. So, and by the way, people are like, well, Tom, if you're sharing everyone the top 100 supplier, then that means it's not going to be profitable. I think I did a calculation that if you look at just Walmart, Walmart has about 150,000 products on its website. Now, if you were to analyze 10 deals per minute, which is impossible, then you could possibly check every product in Walmart once per month. And by the way, Walmart's prices change more than once a month. So just one of those top 100 suppliers, you would need a VA working for 3 months to be able to check every product once. There's just so much stock in retail on the top 100 supplier list alone that you think it's competition, but it's not. It's not. There's just so much opportunity out there. Even just on Walmart alone, 150,000 products. I don't know about you, but we don't check 150,000 products. That's incredible. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, check that out. Fasttrackfba.com, resources, blogs, and you can get the top 100 supplier list. Jaylee, hi Tom. How can one get a credit card or loan to be able to buy more inventory to sell? I got an Amazon financing $1,000 some time ago, but I didn't get approved. I think there's a lot more to it than this, if that makes sense. If you're looking for financing for your business, there's a couple of key considerations. Number one, where is your business located, and is it located within the country you are selling in? So if you have if you are a UK business and you're selling on the UK, that's a lot easier. Number two, where are you physically located? And if you are a UK national, that's a lot easier because you have credit history, you have a business in the UK, and getting financing is not going to be too hard. And generally, if you've got over a year's worth of finance, you've been trading for longer than a year, you'll generally be okay. You can approach vendors or your bank to do it, not a problem. But if you are I don't know, let's say, for example, you live in Mexico and you have a English or an American company and you're selling in, I don't know, Canada, it's going to be really difficult. Why? Because the Mexican company holds its stock in a different country, so there's no assets in America. And then number two, I have no credit history in America, and also I have no assets in America personally. So if I do a bad decision, where are they going to get the money from? There's no stock in the country, and my property doesn't live in the country. So that's really, really hard. So generally speaking, the more you kind of all in the same place, the easier it is. And but the less assets you have. And again, when you're talking about loans, lending, it's just about debt. It's about risk. So, but I would just speak to people and try and find out what to do. But again, Geely, I need to understand where you are located. I think you've just done it in here, so I'll drop it in now and I'll come back to the questions. Hi, Tom. I can buy items in the UK and ship to Amazon Fulfillment Center. Fine. But if I'm not a resident of the UK but reside in Germany, yeah, so your problem comes is that you are not a resident of the UK. So if you make bad decisions, they can't come after you personally, which is a company director. So that's one, like, less likely to, because that, not necessarily. Now, the way to kind of get around that, should we say, is that you have a long trading history with your business. So if you've just started your business in the UK, and you said you're like, I'm not a resident UK but reside in Germany. Yeah, buying and selling items in the UK is very different from having a UK company. So I'm assuming you have a UK company. But then you need trading history of the UK company, and that UK company will need to have assets. So balance sheet, cash on the balance sheet. For example, in my USA company, we have multiple six figures. So if we want to get a loan, they will loan us money probably to a percentage, not more than what is on the balance sheet within the company itself. So that's a really important consideration. But if there's no money in the company, we've been trading less than a year, and I'm not a resident of the country, chances of getting debt is very, very difficult, because all you're doing is risk. It's risk management. Hope that makes sense. Christian said, "Hey Tom, best. I'm very happy with my VA. Very professional. Thanks for the support. I will go with the VA support call. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a really big screenshot. Look at that. Let's go down there. Can I do it that way? Absolutely love that. So, Christian, I just want to say a really big thank you. I'm glad you're loving your VA. And if anyone does want to hire a VA, do check out Fast Track FBA VA Academy. Obviously, we do provide great VAs, but not only that, we teach you how to manage them. At the end of the day, anyone can give you a chainsaw, but if you don't know how to use it properly, you're just not going to get the most out of it. And again, if we give you VAs, they're people, but they are resources which help your business grow, and learning how to do that. And by the way, we've done 400 of them, 400 clients, 800 VAs. We're just going to teach you the best practice ways. And again, like I said to Christian, if there's one thing I can recommend, have the weekly support or daily support call. That's going to be the biggest game changer that you're going to make. So I cannot stress that enough. So absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Christian. Glad it is going well. Right, let's kind of jump on. Farakasuna HD in HD. Absolutely love it. Hello, what price do you recommend for the first product? I don't know. It sounds like you're doing private label. Try and do anything over £10, $10. Ideally £20, $20 sale price. Anything below that is just a bit of a nightmare. So if you can do £30, $30, I think you're in a good place. That'd be a good for sale price. That'd be my top tips. But private label, I can't really help you with, unfortunately. Ravi. Hey, Ravi. 1 second. Man needs coffee. Hey, Tom. I hope you don't mind me asking, from your UK business, when you scaled up to 7 figures, what sort of profit did you take home, please? Okay, really good. There's a couple of things you've got to be mindful of. So I had 3 companies when I was running my UK business. So there's a difference between profit we generated and profit I took home. And also understand that, profit we generated, we were looking to try and do 10% gross and about 7% net, but we went down to about 5% net in that company, and it started declining, hence why the reason we closed it down. We saw declining margins, and again, this is because we were using debt leverage and we weren't doing it right. And again, why? Because a lot of the time we're doing storefront stalking and it doesn't work. I promise you that. You just can't scale storefront stalking. Don't do it. So that's specifically in regards to net figures. But if you're looking at take home, generally in the UK, across my UK Amazon business and Fast Track FBA, when it was in the UK, I would always take about 40,000, which is about the lower earnings limit. So I take that. So I'd always take it out, but a lot of the time I wouldn't need it. So I just put it straight back in again. So you can take it out, pay yourself it, pay the tax on it, and then loan it straight back to the company. That's fine. But I would do that arrangement most of the time. And the reason is just trying to be tax efficient. And by doing that, if I ever needed the money, because I took it out previously in a previous tax year, paid the tax on it, and then loaned it back. When I took it back out again, it was a direct loan or repayment, should we say, rather than an income. So I just stored cash in the business, which is really helpful. So that's what we did. And that's kind of it. And then that's the point. So it's generally from the UK businesses, that's the way it worked. But again, because I ran multiple companies, I didn't need to take from one specific amount. you always looked at it from a personal income perspective. Hope that makes sense, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about in regards to taxation. It's a very important part when you run, companies, and like being efficient, should we say. And again, we talk about 40,000, and that was kind of like round like the dividends, the lower earnings limit, and the most effective way. Once you get over like 40, 45, you start paying the 45% tax bracket or 40% tax bracket, which just got really expensive. So I was like, I don't really want to do it that way. And I didn't need it. So I hope that makes sense. Facebook user, do you sell anywhere in Europe since Brexit, or do you find all the red tape since Brexit not worth it? Do you know what's really interesting is even before Brexit, we turned off Europe. This is when I was selling in the UK, should we say, we turned off Europe. Number two is the fact that I think you can do Europe. I think a recent interview with some people that I've done, has it gone live yet? No, a lot of people I've interviewed around it have talked about they just ship to Germany and do that way. That's probably the best way because it's a bigger marketplace in the UK, and sell just on Germany and do pan EU from Germany and do VAT registration through that. But I don't think. But for me, like the one thing which I just really kind of think about is focus, clarity, focus, really trying to drill down, working on one marketplace, really getting that to work. Why? Because we can all turn on, EFN, eBay, for example, global selling program. Sounds absolutely brilliant, but it's just more work, administration for really no more profit. And I think just make your work things now. So, and also you're talking about red tape, it's administration. I'm just not really interested. So I hope that makes sense. So for me, even now we have the opportunity in the US to sell in Canada and Mexico. We don't, because I'm just focus on the US. Focus on the US, because every single time you get that question from Mexico or you got to deal with a return or something, I'm like, man, I just don't want to deal with this. I want to be focusing my time on the one company or the one country, which does a really, really good job. So I hope that makes sense. Ravi, hey Tom, thanks. Oh, coffee man, thanks for your honesty. I think I will treat Amazon as a perfect side hustle and stay below the VAT threshold. Absolutely fine. By the way, Daniel Gilmore, look at his interviews. I did 2 interviews with him. One was before the VAT threshold and one was after. Very eye-opening, very eye-opening. And he said exactly the same thing. So I do understand, but I think you just need to understand what your niche is. There is really good advantage to scaling the UK, but you have to be focused on what you're doing. That's a really important point. So let's go. Mario, hey Tom, I hope you're well. What's the best way to avoid inventory leakage, which can have a massive impact on profits from supplier to prep center to Amazon with Amazon? Wow, really good. 1 second. Man needs coffee and I'll talk you through it. By the way, there's a really big seller who we all know because I've interviewed him many times, who I spent a lot of time sharing what we do, saved them 6 figures in inventory leakage. Really, really good. So, long story short, we document the whole process in the admin mastery course. So if you just want to copy it, just do admin mastery course. But you need to literally track your inventory from the moment you purchased it through to the moment it goes into the prep center, to the moment it goes into Amazon, to the moment it goes to sell to the customer and back again, and then returns back. We have lots of good ways that we do it. So, for example, a couple of key indicators are obviously we use the USS to help do from prep center from purchase to prep center. So that's the USS. We use the alternate sourcing sheet to manage from supplier to prep center. We then use the supplier's own prep sheet to manage it from within the prep center over to Amazon. And then once in Amazon, we use SDK and then probably seller investigators to manage that kind of level. And then once on return, we have our own internal returning sheets. We then use SDK to give us a ROI and cost of goods figure, and then we'll do a full inventory every single month, open and closing stock, again on the admin course, whereby we get a real cost of goods figure, and we can compare the estimated versus the actual. And the estimated is basically what you've sold is what you've used, and then the actual is what's disappeared, should we say, the stock's gone missing, it's not there. So then we look at the variance between those and then we dig into those. Sometimes it's supplier not being refunded or something, always looking at those things. So again, we document it within the Amazon mastery course, Amazon admin mastery course and Fast Track FBA website, resources, courses. But it's just, we look at all these processes. And by the way, my admin VA does it all, and I get one report at the end of the month as part of the P&L that just documents what we see. And we were looking at that variance between those 2 numbers called cost of goods. So that's the key metric that you're looking at. So I hope that makes sense. Guys, I've got 5 minutes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ask your questions down below. Then I'm taking a 4-week break to go and enjoy the Thailand summer weather. So let me know. Drop your comments down below. Otherwise, forever hold your peace for the next 4 weeks. Geely. Hi, Geely. I still in the EU marketplace and sales starting to roll in, often now from the UK marketplace, unlike 6 months ago. Cool. Sounds like you're on fire. By the way, it's Christmas, so I think everything's selling really, really well. So cool. Glad it's going well. Anything I can do to help you out? Like, by the way, I think you're going to do well. I think the question is like, you want sales rolling in all the time. So if you are going to open up the EU marketplace, the question I would be asking is like, how can we, like, you have to spend time on it to make it work. You can't just turn it on and go, why is it not working? Like, you've got to develop each of these channels. That takes time, and hence I'm like, focus, because like you can do so much. Mario says, on the admin side, does each VA have their own account with each supplier? And if so, how would you manage order confirmation sent to multiple addresses? One email address, purchasing at whatever it's called, your company name. Everyone has access to this one email. Suppliers, or not suppliers, admin VAs, sources, purchasing managers, it all goes in there and everything gets recorded on the tracking sheet, which is the USS. The USS, every purchase that we ever make goes on the USS. The USS then has one of the columns is like how many we expect and how many are actually checked in, and it will tell you if you're short or not, and then we follow it up and chase it down. So literally the purchasing managers will make a purchase, record it on the sheet, and then the admin VAs come in once it starts checking in on the admin sheet, and then every week they're going to go through checking what's outstanding, chase it up. And we even have metrics where you're like how much we're outstanding. So I can just see the numbers, and like I see a number where it's like how much stock do we currently have outstanding from the suppliers, and like in cash value, and I'm like, that's too high. Like, whatever you need to do this week, get it down, chase it. So we just measure it as a cash value. That works really, really well. So we do that. So I hope that makes sense, Mario. That's in the admin mastery. And then obviously we use the USS as part of that, but that's a separate purchase as well. Hey man, how are you getting on? 4 weeks in Thailand. I know. If I'm not actually spending 4 weeks in Thailand, if you want to know what I'm doing 2.5 weeks in Thailand. So we're doing Koh Samui for 10 days. Then we're doing Bangkok and for New Year's and Christmas and New Year's in Bangkok. And then finally, I'm going to be spending like January, kind of the first, second, or third, right through to about the 15th in the Philippines, and we're going to do Palawan, we'll do Davao, and we'll do El Nido. So 5 places in a month, which would be quite cool. The only one I haven't done before is Koh Samui. So I'm looking forward to Koh Samui. That's my first stop. 10 days on an island before we hit Bangkok for Christmas and New Year's. So super happy with that. I'll share some updates on my stories, but I won't be going live because I'm going to be on the other side of the world. Literally on the other side of the world. I've got 4 flights to catch. Let's go through. Do you order different employee cards for your VAs? Wanted to do that today, but Amex says they need to have a UK registered address. I just give them the card details. That's it. You are right. Capital on tap. Don't really complain, if that makes sense. But in regards to Amex, I just give them the card. Why? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they have their own employee cards. You are still liable if they steal the money. Makes no difference. If you give them their own card or you give them your card, if they steal the money, that's your fault. Period. Like, there is no difference. You sign up to that. So that's what we do. So I hope that makes sense. Mario, nice. Make sure you do some cheap scuba diving in Koh Samui. It's not really big. Last time I did scuba diving in Cancun, I blew out an eardrum, so I probably will avoid that. I'm just going to go chill on the beach, record some YouTube videos or something. Yeah, but I like scuba diving is cool. I'm just not a big, like, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I blew out an eardrum. Like, I had like a problem. It was like 2 months it took to fit. I was like, oh my God. It was like, leaking. It's like horrible. Like, no. Ravi says, enjoy, Tom. Well-deserved break. Thanks for the help and support. Not a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, any final questions, drop them now, but I will just kind of wrap up there. Oh, Geely's come in. Geely says, great to have you on board, Tom. Wish you a safe flight. How many times do you travel on vacation a year? A lot. So if I can only tell you the last couple of vacations. So next month, obviously, so coming up to today, I'm flying Mexico City to Barcelona, to Dubai, to Bangkok, to Koh Samui. And I'm going to do Koh Samui to Bangkok, and then Bangkok to So this is like the holiday now. So Chris will move to Bangkok. Bangkok, we'll go to Manila. Manila to El Nido, which is Palawan. Then we'll do Palawan to Davao. Davao back to Manila. And then Manila all the way back to Mexico City somehow. I'll figure that out next year. But last month, I was in Colombia, Medellin for 10 days. And the month before that, I was in Germany for 5 days, I think it was. So I travel quite a lot. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, and then my next stop after all of this is when I get back. I'll be in Miami for Miami Sellers Conference in March because I'm speaking there. So a lot of travel. Yeah, lots going on. So I hope that makes sense. Dan, have you changed anything in your business since all the Section 3 started? Yeah, I've talked about it a lot. I'll just do it really quickly now. Okay, let's be very specific. One, we have a Google spreadsheet whereby it's all of the suppliers, OA, wholesale, doesn't matter, of that we have bought from in the past. So fine. Number two, it has a column which is, has Amazon accepted their invoice for authenticity or any other issues? If they have, we just put the column yes or no, or like yes, no, that's it. Now, number three, and always blank if they haven't done anything. Number three, we have another column which is, has Tom seen the invoice and he thinks the invoice looks good? So if the invoice looks good, then if Amazon asks, then I feel pretty happy. But if the invoice says toys, I'm like, it's a rubbish invoice, stop buying them, because if we ever get authenticity or Section 3, yeah, fine. And then number four is we also look at the actual suppliers themselves. So specifically, what are we doing? Generally speaking, we are looking at website age, reviews, IP history, whois IP, whois, should we say, all these kind of things are key indicators about whether this brand is legit. And we're generally looking for anything over 2 years. We're happy with anything under 2 years. I'm like, I'm not really interested. Shopify stores are like generally a no-no. If I see a Shopify store, I'm just like, no, I'm all right, thanks. So, and it's not, look, the way we look at the whole equation is not for the fact that if Amazon asks us, will they, it's not like Amazon will accept this, they're a legit supplier. It's not that. The question is, if Amazon asks, do we feel confident that they'll accept the invoice? That's it, and they'll accept the supplier. If we look at the supplier and go, they are buying legit goods, we know they're buying legit goods, but their invoices are rubbish, the website's rubbish, and they're brand new, well, I just don't think Amazon are going to accept it. And it's not the fact that, it's not the case that, can you approve that they are, or like, are they right or wrong? It's like, will Amazon accept they're right or wrong? And what we suspect is that Amazon looking at length of history of the company, how long they've been around, all the other key metrics. And if we just focus on that and buy from good suppliers, fantastic. So what we do now is if my team find a product and they like it and it's not on the approved supplier list, we'll just say, drop it into a group chat and we'll go, yeah, that one I'm happy with, or no, Shopify store, please no. My purchasing managers are generally doing most of it and I just watch it, but that's kind of what we're doing in regards to Section 3s. We're just tightening up our supply chain. Hope that makes sense. Racking up the Amex Gold, damn right. Does Section 3 does affect UK too? Yeah, it does. I think it affects the whole. By the way, it's been around for like a long time. They're just enforcing a lot of it because of stolen goods generally in the USA. That's why you're hearing it. Kindly reach out to me when you're ever in Germany. Yeah, I was in Hamburg. It was really nice. Really enjoyed it. I'll definitely go back. I've got a good friend there, but probably not for like another year at least. I've got so much traveling I need to do and work. Tom's actually got to do some work, unfortunately. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a real pleasure. I will see you in 4 weeks. Second or third week in January. You're looking like the 20th onwards. I will see you from then. Stay safe. Have a great Christmas, New Year's. I will catch up with you. And obviously, I look forward to seeing you again live in the new year. Stay safe, people. Bye.